Welcome to Get Your Mind Right, Boots on the Ground, where we spotlight professionals in the field who have overcome challenges and how they work through them. Their stories offer real-world insights and tips for thriving in today's competitive landscape.
Good morning. John Johnson here with Get Your Mind Right, the Boots on the Ground edition. This is the world's only podcast devoted to digital marketing and merchant services professionals. With me this morning is Nellie Schlachter. Good morning, Nellie.
Good morning, John.
I really appreciate you coming back for episode 2 here on Square.
Absolutely.
The now formidable competitor that is Square. For you folks out there that missed it, episode 1 of this was action-packed. I picked up a few things on this, very important things I did not know about Square. And Nellie's here to take us home with part 2 of this. So if you missed that, really encourage you to go back and check that out. So, Nellie, I want to start here with today to talk about this automated savings feature that Square now has.
Yep, it's pretty slick. So for anyone that likes to do budgeting, or even if you don't enjoy budgeting, we all know that we maybe have certain things that we need to save for, right? Including in businesses. So maybe a business owner needs to save for taxes. Maybe they need to save for insurance. Maybe they need to upgrade their equipment. Square makes their automated savings program so quick and easy and user-friendly. They're able to create folders, title those folders, just like I said, taxes, insurance, upgrade equipment, and then they can set a limit, the amount that they're trying to save for. For example, maybe they want to save $10,000 in their savings folder. They can determine the percentage of sales that they want to automatically fund that folder. And then once it reaches their target amount, it automatically stops that transfer. So pretty slick. But what's really nice about it too is just with one touch of your finger on a toggle, you can turn off those automated savings, right? We all know in business, and anytime you're in sales, you're going to have highs and lows and peaks and valleys. If it's a down season where sales are kind of slow right now, all you can do is just go right in there and you just simply click off that automated savings. Wait till business is picking up again, turn it right back on again. So they really make it very user-friendly. And then again, with a touch of one button, they can transfer money out of the savings account back into their checking account, where they can instantly have access to those funds via debit card with online bill pay, etc.
I love this. I was smiling when you said this. I was thinking about my parents. They were very young when they got married, and they had an envelope system. They put money, for rent, car, etc.
Absolutely,
it's old school because it works.
It does. It
works. Now, for you folks out there, again, you can find out all about Nellie's background in the first episode here. But she works with credit unions and commercial banks here. So, Nellie, when you're working with your partners to propagate merchant services throughout their depositors' banks, what kind of tools do you suggest that they use to mine their customer base on who they want to go after?
I'm glad you asked that. So they can request a foreign ACH receivers report from their core. We call it an FACH report. And on that report, there's an ACH descriptor column, which will clearly identify for them every single customer they have or member they have that is processing through Square. It will clearly read Square Incorporated. So literally just by pulling that one report from their core, the bank or credit union have the ability to identify every single customer or member that's processing with Square. And then I highly encourage them, get with your merchant provider, come up with a plan, be proactive, reach out to your customer or member, letting them know that your financial institution offers alternative solutions to Square. Would they like a free analysis to see if we can leave them in a better place than they are today? But it really all comes down to education and informing, John. If they don't inform and they don't proactively go after their customers and members and let them know that they have alternative solutions, then they are and they're at high risk of deposits walking out the door and loans walking out the door.
So I'm going to shift gears on you. I watch their marketing. I see what Square's doing. It looks like they really hit this convenience button hard.
I tell you what, they sure do. It is very, very quick and simple. In our world, we know that Square is simply a payments aggregator, so it's not a true merchant account, which does mean it's very quick and simple for a business to get set up, right? It's going to take them less than 5 minutes. There's no credit pull. There's no application required. They're going to be up and running in absolutely no time at all. So Square really does, make it very convenient. And we know that business owners typically choose the path of least resistance. They are the experts maybe on their particular industry, but not necessarily in our world of merchant processing. So even though they're taking that path of least resistance, going with what's convenient in the long term, that might not be in their best interest, even financially speaking.
Okay. Let's talk about pricing here now. I hear things all across the board on this that, oh, Square's super expensive. It's outrageous. And I hear other people say, no, it's really affordable. What's your take on that?
I think it really depends upon the volume that the merchant is processing, because Square has, a lot of people just think of it as flat pricing. We know it in our world as tiered pricing, which generally is not in the best interest of the merchant long term if they're processing any volume whatsoever. So for example, if the card is present in person, I'm handing you my card paying in person, Square is going to charge 2.6%. plus a per transaction fee on top of that, right? It's always been 10 cents per transaction for years. Guess what? A few weeks ago on March 27th, Square raised that per transaction fee 50%, went from 10 cents a transaction to 15 cents a transaction. So now as a business owner, I'm paying 2.6% of the total plus 15 cents, right? And it just goes up from there. If I'm taking a payment over the phone and I have to key in my transaction, Square's charging me 3.5% plus 15 cents a transaction. So again, if I'm a small craft show vendor and I do a couple of craft shows a year, taking a handful of transactions, it's not going to seem very expensive. And honestly, it might be the most cost-effective means of accepting payments. But for any business owner that's regularly accepting payments of any kind, more than likely Square is not going to be price conscientious for them.
Gotcha. Let's talk about reliability here. I see this on my LinkedIn feeds all the time. Square's down again.
Yep.
Tell me what kind of impact that's having on merchants.
I tell you what, it really is having a lot of impact on merchants. So here internally, we kind of monitor this and we watch the chatter and we kind of, see how often they're down, that sort of thing. And they've been down a lot this past year. I can't tell you why they've been having issues. I don't know if it's growing pains. I'm not sure what it is, but there have been several instances where Square has been down for hours and sometimes even longer than a day. I myself was personally affected, John. I buy some healthcare supplements and been going through the same merchant for, a couple of years, buying them online through their website. Like the product, very quick and easy. Time for a refill, get online to order them, add it to my cart, go to checkout, get an error message. I can't check out. It's like, what the heck? So, I'm thinking I keyed in my card number wrong. I did something wrong. Nope. All my card information is correct. Just there's an error. You cannot check out. Have to go to work, go home later that evening, tried it again, still an error, still can't check out. Well, then it dawned on me, I wonder if Square is down. So I Googled, is Square having an outage? Sure enough, they come up and tell you all of their outages, where they're at. So I waited until the following evening and tried to order them the following evening. Guess what? Still down, still can't check out. Well, at this point, I'm starting to become a nervous Nellie because I need literally. So I need my supplements. So I thought I'm just going to go see if I can find them on Amazon. Go to good old faithful Amazon. Guess what? I find something that appears to be equivalent and it's going to be delivered on my porch the next day for free. And I purchased them. And guess what? I was pleased with them. And they were at a lower price point than I'd been paying the previous 2 years. So unfortunate for this business that I'd been buying my supplements from the previous 2 years, they've now lost a customer out of me forever because I found it on Amazon at a cheaper price point. And that would have never happened, John. I was very, very satisfied with the supplements I was receiving. If Square had not been down, they would have never lost my business.
Now think of the ramifications of this, right? Here's this business. They've done all these things, these million machinations you have to go through to run a successful business.
Yep.
And their payment processor permanently alienated a customer. You're never going to do business with them again.
It's really mind-boggling. I know. It's really sad. It really is. And if I could back up just a bit, I did fail to mention when we were talking about pricing that Square also does not have the ability for merchants to offload the processing fees. So we know it as cash discounting or dual pricing.
Surcharging.
Any of those ways that you can offload those processing fees. Square does not have any of those available whatsoever. And in anyone in merchant processing, you all know that is the trend in today's merchant, right? The majority of merchants are wanting to offload those processing fees. Square does not have the ability to do that. So another limitation on their pricing.
So really, for a lot of your banking customers, they may not know it, but it's not really a business class service for what your merchants are wanting to do.
No, it really should not be.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, Nellie, this has been fantastic here. Take us home here. I'm going to give you the last word.
Oh, wow. Well, I tell you what, my passion right now and my mission this year, John, is to educate all banks and credit unions across the nation to take note and don't let Square just continually poach your deposits and your loans. You really need to be proactive. You've got to get the word out. You have to aggressively play defense and try and protect your deposits and your loans from walking out the door. So take note of it. Really do your research and work very closely with your merchant partner to come up with a plan to protect those assets.
Very good. If you folks remember back to the first episode, Nellie's given this this exact dialogue, I should say, to a number of banking conferences. Really been successful. I know why. I know when you showed me the deck on this, I was just super impressed with it. This was great. I'd love to have you back.
I'd love to come back, John.
You got another topic chambered somewhere you can talk to me about?
We'll find one.
We'll find one. So folks, I appreciate you tuning in to this edition of Get Your Mind Right, Boots on the Ground. If you like what you heard today, please hit that like, follow, and or subscribe button and tell your colleagues about it. So until then, for Nellie Schlachter, I'm John Johnson, and get your mind right.